Less than 100 people worldwide own more wealth than the bottom 3,500,000,000 people put together. The masses are living from week to week or month to month on a wage or salary, and that is as good as it is going to get. We can choose to feed, clothe, house and care for the needy, but don't, because profit comes before people or the environment in capitalism. Capitalism requires a loser for every winner. We see this as the true trickle-down effect as, more than, half the world continues to be mired in ridiculous man-made poverty. Though capitalism is not the economic system for the entire planet, it interacts with other economic systems, participating in poverty wages and deplorable working conditions. We also see that competition is a short-sighted survival of the fittest mechanism. Capitalism is designed to ensure that the rich and powerful are maintaining their position by enslaving the majority world in precarious work with few rights. It requires unfair trade, unequal access to resources and control over educational and financial systems to survive. This system of debits and credits which runs our present financial construct is rooted in biblical ideas. Our money and legal system are taken straight out of the Bible. And it is all based on the Promised Land. This information is an attempt to explain the meanings and different parts of this narrative concerning the origin of our present legal and financial system. Quasi-public organizations meet and decide whether to endorse these drafts. Capitalism and the uniform commercial codes have created a situation of winners and losers. For it to work, someone must come up short. They promote a theory of trickle-down economics. But their theory does not work for everybody. It is only working for those at the very top of the pyramid, which is the 5% of the people, and the rest of us are sitting around waiting for someone to give us something. Look at this video and tell me what you think. I will be right back when it finishes to see what your opinion is concerning it.
Have you ever wondered how capitalism, a system that promises prosperity and opportunity, can also be a source of deep-rooted inequality and injustice? It's a paradox that particularly echoes within the Black community. Capitalism, in its essence, is an economic system where industries and businesses operate for profit. While it has its merits, it's crucial to acknowledge the systemic economic inequality it perpetuates, particularly between Black and white Americans. This inequality stems from unequal access to education, employment opportunities, and financial resources, often leading to a significant racial wealth gap. Moreover, within the capitalist framework, marginalized groups, including Black individuals, often face exploitation and discrimination. Lower wages, limited career advancement opportunities, and discriminatory hiring practices are not uncommon, further widening the economic disparity. Further, capitalist-driven urban development and gentrification often result in the displacement of Black communities. As property values and rents rise, many are forced out of their homes, leading to social and economic displacement. Now let's delve into the concept of trickle-down economics. It advocates for tax cuts for the wealthy and corporations, with the belief that the benefits will trickle down to the rest of society. However, this theory has often resulted in wealth concentration among the wealthiest, rather than widespread economic prosperity. Trickle-down policies often lead to cuts in vital public services like education, healthcare, and affordable housing, thereby disproportionately impacting economically disadvantaged Black communities. The prison system also plays a significant role in exacerbating these inequalities. Black Americans are incarcerated at higher rates compared to their white counterparts due to racial profiling, harsh sentencing laws, and disparities in the criminal justice system. This mass incarceration has devastating effects on individuals, families, and communities, perpetuating cycles of poverty and social exclusion. Additionally, the exploitation of prison labor, often paying extremely low wages or no wages at all, disproportionately affects Black inmates and contributes to economic inequality both within and outside of prisons. Finally, the welfare system, although designed to provide support to low-income individuals and families, is often stigmatized and subject to strict eligibility requirements. Black Americans, in particular, may face additional structural barriers, such as racial discrimination. In conclusion, capitalism, trickle-down economics, the prison system, and the welfare system have all played a role in perpetuating systemic inequalities that disproportionately affect the Black community. It's a complex issue with roots that run deep in our society, but it's not an insurmountable issue. We encourage you to learn more about these systems, their effects, and the efforts being made to address these disparities. Seek out resources, engage in conversations, join initiatives that seek to address these issues. Your voice matters, and together we can drive significant, lasting change.
What are the negative effects of capitalism on the Black community? The negative effects of trickle-down economics, the prison system for Black inmates still being property of the state. The welfare system. Capitalism was not made for Black people. What is the state of income inequality for Black Americans to white Americans? The negative effects of capitalism on the Black community can include systemic economic inequality. Capitalism has historically perpetuated economic disparities between Black and white Americans due to factors such as unequal access to education, employment opportunities, and financial resources. This has contributed to the racial wealth gap, with Black households typically having significantly less wealth than white households. Exploitation and discrimination. In capitalist economies, marginalized groups, including Black individuals, may face exploitation and discrimination in the labor market. This can manifest in lower wages, limited career advancement opportunities, and discriminatory hiring practices, which further exacerbate economic inequality. Gentrification and displacement. Capitalist-driven urban development and gentrification often lead to the displacement of low-income and minority communities, including Black neighborhoods. Rising property values, rent prices, and property taxes can force Black residents out of their homes and communities, contributing to social and economic displacement. Trickle-down economics, which advocates for tax cuts and deregulation for the wealthy and corporations under the belief that benefits will trickle down to the rest of society, has been criticized for exacerbating income inequality and failing to address the needs of marginalized communities, including the Black community. Some negative effects of trickle-down economics include wealth concentration. Trickle-down policies often result in wealth concentration among the wealthiest individuals and corporations, rather than widespread economic prosperity. This can further widen the wealth gap between the rich and the poor, disproportionately impacting Black individuals and communities who are already economically disadvantaged. Underinvestment in public services. Trickle-down policies may lead to cuts in public services and social safety net programs, such as education, healthcare, and affordable housing, which are vital for addressing systemic inequalities and promoting upward mobility, particularly for marginalized communities. Regarding the prison system and welfare system, the negative effects on Black Americans include mass incarceration. The prison system disproportionately impacts Black Americans, who are incarcerated at higher rates compared to white Americans. This is due to various factors, including racial profiling, harsh sentencing laws, and disparities in the criminal justice system. Mass incarceration has devastating effects on individuals, families, and communities, perpetuating cycles of poverty and social exclusion. Prison labor exploitation. Many prisons in the United States rely on inmate labor, often paying extremely low wages or no wages at all. This exploitation disproportionately affects Black inmates and contributes to economic inequality both within and outside of prisons. Welfare stigma and structural barriers. While welfare programs are intended to provide support to low-income individuals and families, they are often stigmatized and subject to strict eligibility requirements. Black Americans may face additional structural barriers, such as racial discrimination and limited access to resources. I share this information because of my responsibilities as the Queen. I trust that this information was enlightening and educational. Now, your responsibility is for you to share, like, follow and subscribe.